Hi, how's it going?
Good.
Forrest Brown.
Jaden Parker.
Jaden Parker, nice to meet you. So where are you from, Jaden?
I'm from Canyon, Texas.
You're from Canyon? Where's that?
Do you know where Amarillo's at?
Yes, I do.
Well, I live about 15 minutes underneath it. My house is actually right by Paladura Canyon. So,
Okay, I know where Paladuro is.
Yeah, I
I've
go
been
down there quite a bit and
Yeah.
like to hike, and
That's
just
awesome.
a fun place to go down
That's awesome. Cool. Well, tell me a little about yourself. Where you from? You said you're from Canyon. Which you look young. You look like you probably in college or something. Did you go to school?
Yeah, went to Canyon. Played baseball for Canyon was where I kind of started out.
Okay.
And then I actually went to Texas Tech
Okay.
University. Played baseball for Texas Tech.
Awesome.
And then I graduated Texas Tech with a degree in marketing.
Okay.
And now I kind of run into some, not financial problems, but just some more questions with my finances.
Of course. Yeah, I bet that's why you came to see me.
Yeah, that's right. I got lucky enough to get drafted in baseball, and I'm hoping that it's something that I can, do for the rest of my life.
That's awesome.
But that's not, it's not realistic to be able to
Of
play
course.
until I'm 50.
Right.
So
Especially in baseball. Baseball is competitive when it comes to that. Yeah.
it is, and it's hard, to work up and.
Because you got to play in the minors for a few years before you even get
at
a chance at the major league. I get that. Yeah, I'm a huge baseball fan. So
Okay, yeah. Well, I actually have a girlfriend right now, and
what's her name?
her name is Morgan.
Morgan.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty name.
Well, thank you. And I plan on, we're engaged right now. Hopefully, get married in about 5 months.
Okay.
And
Congratulations.
well, thank you. And she's supposed to have a kid too.
Okay. Okay.
And
I see.
And that is supposed to be a couple months before the wedding.
I see where the financial problems are coming into play.
Yeah, and I, when I got drafted in the 4th round, I didn't get a $1 million signing bonus like you think or something. I got $200,000, which I was really lucky to get. And so I don't want to blow that money.
Right.
I want to put it where where I can use it best.
Right.
And so I'm not sure if you know this, but baseball players that aren't in the MLB, they get paid, on a monthly salary. And I'm getting $1,800 a month now, and I'm coming out of college without any debt, which is good because I play baseball.
That's always a plus.
And so, I just want to, be able to put my money where it's, where I can use it best.
Of course.
So that's why I came to you.
Yeah, of course. So you got drafted straight out of Texas Tech, and you graduated, right, with your marketing degree. Did you have any idea where you wanted to take that marketing degree, maybe, if baseball didn't work out?
Not yet. Right now, I feel like to be successful in baseball, I got to have all my focus there.
That makes sense, of course.
I really haven't put a whole lot of thought into marketing.
Okay.
But, through college, my parents have paid for, my fixed monthly expenses like my phone bill and insurance and stuff. And,
of course,
for baseball, I do get, my housing paid for, but other than that, I don't, all these expenses are now coming to me.
Right.
And with only $1,800 a month, that's not a lot. So.
Well, let me ask, I didn't ever ask you, who'd you get drafted by?
The Houston Astros.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
So,
so are you still playing? Are you playing here right now?
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm actually I'm on the minor league team.
I didn't know if they were located here or not.
Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah, AA team. So
yeah.
Hopefully I can move up, but as of right now, this is where I'm at, and hopefully I can,
of course,
move up to AAA.
Of course,
in the next year or two.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. So. Do you have any other savings outside? I'm just curious.
No, I got that $200,000, and I haven't spent any of it. I just kind of have it sitting in an account.
Okay.
When I got drafted a couple months ago, I decided I'd move to Houston and then get in touch with a financial planner that can help me.
Okay.
Put that money where it needs to go.
Right, of course. Awesome. So you want to know what to do with this $200,000 because it's basically your only funds at this point.
Yeah, well, I have the $1,800
on top of your monthly salary.
Yeah, and I got these expenses now coming in, and with a kid coming, I want to have money for that, everything I need. And
so tell me about Morgan. You said you're going to get married. You said she's pregnant. What did she graduate from Texas Tech as well?
She did. She actually has a teaching degrey. So she's a teacher here in Houston.
What grade does she teach?
She's in elementary school.
Okay. So she's making a government salary.
Mm-hmm. I think she's starting out around 45.
Does she have any government benefits?
Not that I know of. I don't think so.
Okay, no retirement savings or anything.
No, I think that we're both kind of starting off, right at the
starting
bottom
at the
here.
beginning. Okay.
So I just want to, I've always seen the charts of, if you start off young, you're going to have more at the end rather than waiting at.
You're right. You're
40,
completely
so.
right. Yeah. And I think we can totally do that. I think you definitely have enough funds right now to survive you for the next year if we do it right. And then on top of that, we can work from there. Did you have any ideas at all as to what you wanted to do? Like, do you have any like first priorities at this point?
I want to be able to pay for, I don't want to have stresses right as we have the kid. We're just going to be coming down, and my girl, my girlfriend, soon to be wife, we'll be living in a place that will be paid for, but the rest of our stuff, we'll be paying for. So
you said your place you're living in is paid for?
Yes, they said they're going to pay for that. Since we travel so much, and we're just going to have a little place.
Oh, that's all. So you're just like a apartment or something. Okay, well that makes it easier, not having to pay rent. What would you do? Do your parents or her parents have any plans of paying for the wedding, or was that an expense that y'all took care as well?
Her parents were going to pay for our wedding, which I said that I would pay for after I've made all this money, but. They said that they had some put aside and that they would feel bad not paying for it, so they wanted to do that.
So you've got your rent and your wedding covered for the next 2 years. That's probably your two biggest expenses, I would say.
Yeah, I have that paid for, and $1,800 is not a month. I mean, $1,800 a month is not a lot, but I do have some expenses taken out of there, so that helps out a little bit.
And where is that $1,800 going currently? Straight into your account?
Yeah, it's going straight into my account, and I want to make sure that I have enough to pay for stuff.
Well, let me ask you this: are the Astros? Do they give you all any sort of retirement funds, any sort of investment funding of any sort? I don't know. I've never looked into what professional sports do with benefits wise.
Yeah, I think that if I'm not sure about the time, but I think that if I'm with the organization or in the league long enough that I'll have retirement from them based off of probably what I made.
Okay.
And I think that it might be 5 years.
Okay. I think if you last at that point, the contract you'll be signing will be well above anything you need to worry about saving for. Yeah. That's awesome. Okay. So just to recap, you graduated from TTU. You're about to start playing baseball for the minor leagues out here. Your wife is a elementary school teacher out here, and she's making government salary, and she has. You said she has retirement.
Well, we're going to start putting into that as soon as she starts
hers.
Working,
I think she'll get one probably a little more quicker than you are.
Probably right.
Like. So we can definitely start managing that. I would say it'd be a government 401k. I'm not entirely sure. We have to look into that.
Just TRS.
Yeah, of course. So I think that could be something that we could initially start funding. I think just because starting early, the payments are smaller towards that, and it won't be as big of an expense. What would you think about maybe opening your own sort of investment account?
I would, and that's one of the main reasons I came in was because I just I got this bonus, and I want to know how much of it I can put towards investing to where I can use it later on in life.
Right. Did you? Of course, yeah. I think saving it now is the best choice. You don't have any current expenses you want to just throw out there, like you want a new car or something like that?
No. I've had one through college, and I'm comfortable with it right now. I think that within a couple of years it may get too old, and I may have to get a new one. But
that's
probably just a future expense.
Okay. So really, right now, all we're looking at is just paying, supporting your kid and your wife, and I think that's completely manageable. I think that, especially since you aren't paying rent or wedding, that the $250 you'll have it by the end of this year, we'll definitely be able to manage a lot longer than I had initially said. Okay. You said you are interested in setting up some sort of investment account to maybe start growing your funds.
For sure. How risky do you think I need to be in that?
Well, that depends how risky you think you are.
Well, I would consider myself probably moderate. Right. But, due to my age, do I need to be risky? Or is it, since I'm coming in so early, can I be a little bit more conservative?
I think I think at your young age you have the potential to be both, and I think it just depends on how you feel. Say you put, you bet $50 with the chance of winning 200 or losing 200. It all just depends on how willing you are to take that bet.
Mm-hmm. And not too willing on that one. I want to be able to, man, I don't want to lose the money I have.
No, and of course, and we don't want to lose your money either. That's the whole point of investing here. And we can there's many types of investment funds. There's multiple types of IRAs. There's an endless amount of ideas that we could do at this point. I would say first, I think your money is sitting in a good spot. It's just in a checking account, I assume, right now. Mm-hmm. I think that is a safe spot for it as of now. Once we start getting an investment fund set up, we can maybe take a portion of your monthly check and put it in there, or maybe start out with a lump sum of the 200 and then just let it grow for a little while. Mm-hmm. It's in the end. At that point, it's really your opinion on what you want to do. And I think you have the potential to do all these, and it's really at this point, it's just what your opinion is.
Let me ask you a question about something else here. When I have a kid, I want to make sure that I have money now, but in the future, say I get hurt or something, I may not have as much, mm-hmm. and I want to make sure that my kid can be able to go to college one day, like I did, and my future wife did. Yeah. So is there any type of options where I can, maybe pay a little bit to where she'll have enough to when she gets ready to go to college?
Yeah, there's 529 plans out there set up exactly for that.
Okay, what exactly is that?
A 529 plan is just it's what you just described. It's college savings plan. You start putting money in now, and eventually it's going to grow, and it'll be distributed at a lower tax rate because it's going straight to the school.
And is that something that I would have to start now, or is it something I would start when she's 5?
It's something that you could start anytime you want. It's the same as the retirement plan is, as we talked about, though. The earlier you start, the less you have to fund.
Do I have to wait for her to be born, probably?
Yeah, you should. You have to wait till she does technically exist, according to the government. Okay. And that's just policy reasons. But you can open it up the second she is. And in my advice, I would say wait on that until maybe your wife has sufficient funds saved up from her school job, because you said she is making 40. You said 45. 45 a year. That'll accumulate eventually, mm-hmm. and on top of your salary, as well as this lump sum that you just received, mm-hmm. I think anything is manageable at this point. I'm glad, and I'm really happy you came in now versus 10 years down the road when she's 6 and you're having trouble feeding her. Because mm-hmm. now that you're talking to me, we can definitely set this up. I think a 529 plan would be a great idea. I think that some of your check and some of your wife's check can both go into it. And we can manage that however we want to, but based on the expenses you start incurring in the next 10 years, with basically expenses for your kid. Because you said you want to fund everything she wants to do and you want to support them. And I think that's great. I think that having your number one priority be your family is always something that I've always thought of as a positive thing.
Thank you. Well, let me just get so I'm clear on it. Out of that 200,000, I'd maybe like to put enough in it to where if something comes up, I can pay for it. But the rest of it, do you think that it's wise to maybe invest half of it to where it grows rather than just sitting there not growing at all? Or when do you think is a smart time for me to start investing?
I think a smart time for you to start investing would be in a few years if you really want to start investing to make your money grow. And that's to say, start incurring more and more risk on your investments. I think your investment account or an investment savings account of some sort that's going to grow maybe 2 or 3% a year, that's something you can start now because that's only just going to grow you money. I think your wife's 401k should be set up as quickly as possible. I think both of those will help y'all because once we get your expenses, get your expenses in order as quickly as possible, we won't be dealing with such high payments, and it'll be easier to manage. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. And I think you all you said all your money is currently sitting in a checking account. I think maybe setting up some sort of emergency fund account would be smart, and we could put maybe a portion of this 200K that you just got in there, just in case anything happens or you get hurt and you're not making, because I don't know about the minor leagues. Do they still pay you if you don't play?
As long as I'm not under contract, I do.
Yeah.
But if I were ever to be off contract, then no.
Okay. So I think having like a 3-month emergency fund would be a smart idea. Just in case anything happens, say you get hurt and maybe I'm not trying to put this on you, but say you get hurt and you don't play baseball anymore. You'll have at least 3 months to figure out what you want to do, and you have a college degree, so that makes that process a little easier in my opinion, just because of how it works today.
So maybe wait on the rest of that money to invest for just a year.
Yeah, I think you should wait on the current money that you have for investing, per se. Maybe the investment account that we talked, the IRA, that could be started sooner, because I think the diversification on the IRA is a little safer than it would be putting $100,000 into 5 different stocks and just watching them every day. I think that's something that you might want to look into, maybe when you're sitting on more sufficient funds, to where you're not necessarily worried about having an emergency fund, because you have not such minimal amount of money as you do now. Does that make sense? So what other priorities do you have beyond your kid and your wife?
One thing that my dad mentioned to me the other day was that maybe I should, he knew I was coming to this meeting, so he told me maybe to look into like life insurance, and I don't have that currently.
Okay.
Is that something at my age that is something to add, or is that too many expenses already?
I think insurance is always a smart idea. It's just, insurance is insurance. Life insurance, medical insurance, we probably can start working on that. I have a feeling that your wife probably receives some of those from the government. And I can't imagine that the Astros organization doesn't have at least, a medical insurance policy for you or something like that.
Yeah, they do. I'm not quite sure about the specifics of it.
Yeah, but I can only imagine there's something there that's going to be set up in the next year or two, since you're just now starting out.
Yeah.
So we can look into that. I wouldn't say worry about purchasing your own at this point. Life insurance, that's a different question. I think if you are really anxious about where you're sitting in life right now, you and your wife sound like you're both two healthy people. So maybe if you were to want to get life insurance, I would say take it out on yourself and make your family your beneficiary.
Okay.
And that's the ideal situation. But that's if something freak happens during playing baseball or something like that. You know what I mean? And that's nothing we want to attempt to happen. I think it's just precautionary at this point. So if you would like to set up a life insurance policy, we can look into that. It's not that expensive. I think you could afford it. You could honestly pay for it probably with part of your 200K, your signing bonus that you are holding right now. But because that does set a lower priority, I would put that off for a few more years. I think just because you and your wife are sitting in a safe spot right now, that if we only worry about paying for your family and keeping your kid healthy, because I know I have kids too, and when they're at that young, they go to the doctor like once a week, it seems like, and those bills just fly out the window, So I think if we sit on the funds that you have now specifically for that for the next 2 years, I think you'll be you'll feel a lot better about yourself.
That makes sense.
in the future than you would if you were to start taking these investments out now. I think I lived through 2008. I lost pension funds, so and it does hurt to do that, and I don't want to see that happen again. But you see, I don't know if you're a businessman at all. Like, look, you said you have a marketing degree.
I've taken a few business classes.
So do you watch business news? Do you follow the stocks?
Not a whole lot.
See, and I don't either, but I always see it fluctuate. I'm not that big of a risk taker, so that's my opinion.
Okay.
And that's why I'm pushing the emergency savings and making your kids the priority at this point, because you and your wife sound like you're both making sufficient funds, and I think that is a great thing to start off with.
Okay.
But do you have any more questions for me?
No, I think we've talked about everything that I was curious about.
Well, let me just run through everything that we talked about, make sure I'm on the same page as you, and then we can talk about further meeting, what maybe you can bring me that will further help us on this discussion. But you're living here in Houston. You're making $1,800 a month through a AA team for the Astros. Mm-hmm. Your wife's making $45 a year for elementary school teaching. You have no retirement savings at this point. She should be getting a 401k set up in the next year or two. You have a marketing degree. She has a teaching degree. So y'all are both well off when it comes to education. But you are about to get married to Morgan, and she's about to have a kid in the next, what, you said 3-4 months?
Yeah. About that time.
Okay. So your number one priorities at this point are going to be just paying for your family. Because you said, you did say Jill's parents are paying for the wedding, and that the team is paying rent since you're traveling so much?
Correct.
Okay. So right now, I think all we should worry about is just maybe managing your expenses, setting up the emergency fund, setting up that IRA that we discussed. And I think if you would like to meet further after this, that we could start discussing the other ideas that we had.
Okay, that'll work.
But yeah, I think the only thing I ask from you is once we set up our next meeting, if you could bring me any sort of financial statements that you'll have. I know you just graduated college, so it can't be that big, but anything will help at this point.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll bring it in.
Awesome. Well, I really appreciate it, man.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.